So now there are two steps to getting a FAANG job offer for you. Step 1, get into an interview. Step 2 is the interview. Consider in Bangalore, for Amazon pays around 30 lakhs per annum for a fresher, probably a 60 lakh for a mid-level, and it will go more than 90 lakhs for a senior level. You have to be really good at data structure and algorithm. First of all, getting into an interview. It's not easy to get into a FAANG interview. Usually the HR managers, they get thousands upon thousands of resumes. To give you an edge, there is a secret formula. So you want to get into companies like Meta, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, or the way they call it, FAANG. Now it should be MANG. So why?
Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google.
किसी FAANG कंपनी में काम
FAANG companies,
FAANG interviews.
So why usually people want to go there? Simon Sinek, he's a great writer. I follow him. So he once said, you should start with why. If your why is strong, the how should follow. So why only these companies? So first of all, we should think about it, because there are other companies which pays really well, which has a good work culture, and which has also all the perks that these companies have. But yes, these companies are the best in its class. So you talk about salary, or you talk about any other perks. If you just consider Google, according to 2022 data, Google paid its employees, the L3 employees, which is the initial entry level engineers, around 190K. L4 employees around 250K. L5 employees around 370K. L6 employees around 500K a year. L7 employees around 750K, and L8 employees, they have paid over $1 million a year. This is for the US. For India, if you consider in Bangalore, for Amazon pays around 30 lakhs per annum for a fresher, probably a 60 lakhs for a mid-level, and it will go more than 90 lakhs for a senior level. Now, these companies have dedicated hiring teams. So these teams usually take care of the hiring, and they maintain the quality of the workforce. That is their strategy. Now, this makes your job easier because they are more predictable. Contrast that with if individual teams are hiring, and then the managers and the engineers are taking your interview, then they will ask based on their projects. Now, then it will depend on what projects you have worked previously, what experience you have. Based on those, you will be able to answer those questions. But there is an uniformity in the hiring, let's say, of companies like Google. So you can prepare accordingly. So there is a strategy in place, which is a tried and tested strategy, which if you use, you will surely get into one of these FAANG companies. You will have to give effort, and you will have to give it a certain amount of time. So now there are two steps to getting a FAANG job offer for you. Step 1, get into an interview. Step 2 is the interview. Now I know you know that already. And that is the procedure for any job. But for the sake of simplicity, let's break it down. First of all, getting into an interview. It's not easy to get into a FAANG interview. Usually the HR managers, they get thousands upon thousands of resumes. So you have to write a FAANG-proof resume, or you have to write a resume that gets through and gets you an interview. So for that, you must have in your resume things that you have already done. Now, if you are a fresher, or you have been working in a job where you did not get any opportunity to show that much skill, or you could not show the work that you needed to convince them, then what you need to do is to contribute in open source. If you contribute strongly in open source, that is a space where you can show your skills, where you can show that you have already built something which they can directly see. So a strong open source profile is very important today to get into any high value companies. Now, there is another way to get into an interview, and that is to get a referral. It is easy to get a referral if you have a friend who is already working in a FAANG company, who knows you are good, or someone from your college, a senior or an alumni who is working there in one of those FAANG companies, and they can refer you. But if you don't know any such person who can refer you, then you may have to approach in LinkedIn or in various other ways people who are working there. Now, someone who doesn't know you, how will they vouch for your skills, and how will they put in their stakes the credibility that they have in their company? Because if they refer you and you are not a good good developer, or you don't have much skills, then they won't like it. So it's better to have an online profile which you can show them, so that they can also quickly skim through it, be convinced, and vouch for your skills, and then put your resume forward to their own teams so that you get an interview from one of these. Now comes the hard part. Congratulations, you have got into the interview. Now you have to ace it. So for that, first of all, you have to learn a programming language, and you have to be decent at it. So let's say you can pick C++, you can pick Python, you can pick Java, or any language that you want. But you have to be good at it, decent enough. So after that, now comes the real part. Step 2. You have to be really good at data structure and algorithm. So start studying data structure and algorithm. So the best strategy would be to pick a good course, any video course, which is extensive and elaborates every single concept with examples, and follow that course. And when you finish one chapter, go to leadcode.com, and there you start practicing problems in the top interview questions section. You pick the questions which are from those particular subjects, from those chapters, and you start solving them. For example, let's say you just finished array. You have cleared the concepts on the arrays, and now you are ready to solve the problems. So you should go to leadcode.com, and you should go to the top interview questions, look at those questions, which of these are from array, and you should solve them. Now, while solving them, what you will face is that initially, depending on which stage or which level of coding skills you have right now, initially you will not be able to solve it that quickly. So let's say if you take an hour or more than that, after a certain amount of time, you should stop. There is no point solving a problem for 3 hours and then finally be able to solve it, or you may not be able to solve it at all. There are 3 levels of questions: easy, medium, and difficult. You should start with easy and go to medium and then difficult. So you have to do this practice at least 2 hours a day, where for 1 hour you try to solve it, and if you're not able to solve it, try for 40-45 minutes to solve it, and then 15 minutes to optimize it. But if you're not able to do that, then stop and go to the discussion section and look at all the solutions that people have already given. This is important, because even if you are able to solve it, you must check other people's solution, because they provide optimized and a different approach led solutions which you may not think of. And reading those solutions after solving it yourself, after trying to solve it yourself, if you read those solutions, it will really help you grow. So it is very important. So you continue that every day, 1 hour, you study those videos. You just go through those videos and you learn the concepts, and then for 2 hours you practice. If you do that for 1 month, you see the difference in yourself. You will be able to see a very noticeable difference, where you are very able to very effectively solve problems. Now, once you have already done that, you can't be like, okay, I have done all the solving of all the questions, so now I'm a pro. No, lead code is not be all and end all. People do this mistake. After that, you have to sit with those problems, and you have to further find out what are the test cases using which you can test those problems. then you can what are the other ways through which you can optimize. So you have to work on that, you have to think on them in details. So data structure and algorithm is more about thinking than coding. So you have to think about a solution. So once you learn that way of thinking, slowly it will start coming, solutions will start coming quickly in your mind. So that is the practice that you need. So now let's say you have given this a good 2-3 months, you have solved 20 to 30 questions per chapter, and you have to remember, you have to go through those chapters in sequence. You cannot just jump to graph. You have to first go through linked list, and before linked list you have to know pointers. So you have to know those things. And the most important chapters are time and space complexity. So this is what you have to master. So now once you have done that, so now you are almost ready for the interview. So you are ready to apply, you have a FAANG proof resume, you have a strong open source profile, and now you have applied, and then you have gotten the job, gotten the interview, and there you will be doing well. But to give you an edge, there is a secret formula which recently some researchers tried, and they saw it working for multiple candidates for many industries. So what they do is they take the job description of the job that you apply, and they give it to ChatGPT and ask it to generate keywords. Once it takes those input and generates those keywords, the candidates mention those keywords again and again in the interview. So this will require some practice, where you practice giving the interview and where you mention those keywords more. If you have done a good job in the interview, this will help you tip the balance in your favor, where the interviewer seems to be preferring you over other candidates. And this seems to have worked really well. This is a new way, but times are changing, things are changing very fast. You have to use new ways to get your work done. So this is one trick that has actually worked. In the future, I don't know how long it will work, but this is 2023. I can say this is good for a year from now at least. So now after that, you have already given your interview, and let's say you are waiting for the results. So now you have heard from the interviewer, so kudos to you. Great job, you got the job. But what if you don't hear from them? Well, there is a simple way to go forward. Apply more, give more interviews, and give at least 6 to 7 interviews before you can be confident that you will have a very high chance of cracking these interviews. Because when you actually get into these interviews, you get to learn new things about yourself, your weaknesses, where are you falling short. You can work on those and then give the next interviews. You can always improve on one interview and ace the next one and get better in the next one. And you have to give more and more interviews for that. So that is a very important lesson here, that if once you have come until this long, you cannot give up. Now, one thing is there to notice is that once you clear a FAANG interview, you are capable of clearing other FAANG interviews too. Another skill that would require for you to have is, if you have some experience, then they may ask some questions based on the experience that you have, the work that you have done. So it's not always just DSA. But you have to know the basics and some rudimentary knowledge, because they won't go into that much of a detail in your current work or in the company that you are going, because that is not how they hire. So they have a predictable way of hiring, but yeah, it will look really bad. Let's say if you didn't know the basics, if you are a web developer and you didn't know the basics of web development. So that said, now let's say you have given multiple interviews and you're learning from it, and then finally you have got a job. So now congratulations, you have a FAANG job, let's say in Google or Amazon or Apple or anywhere. So now the interviews that you have already given, that 6 to 7 interviews, those failures are not mentioned in your resume. Only the success is mentioned in your resume. That the current job that you have, let's say, is with Google, So it doesn't say you have had 5 more attempts prior to that where you failed. So there is no, there is no con to failing and giving more interviews, only pros. So if you have been this long in this video, I assume you have a desire in you to get into these jobs. So I wish you all the best. And this channel is to help you. I'll try my best to help you as much as I can. More videos are coming for you, catered to how to improve your either your coding skills or your resume, or how to have a better online profile in GitHub or LinkedIn. There are many other videos that are coming. We are trying to grow a community here of like-minded people where I can also learn. You guys can also learn. You guys can teach me. So this is my first video on this channel. Actually, my second video, but my first in-person video. So if this is bad, you can please write it in the comment section where what are the areas which I can cover, what are the areas where I went completely wrong, and what are the areas where I can improve. And I'll really appreciate that. Also, if you want, if you want to study not through video courses but through reading books, that is your thing. You can't learn through videos. You learn through books. So then you can follow Cracking the Coding Interview. In the description, I'll leave a link below. And thank you so much. Please subscribe to this channel, and if you comment saying I subscribed, I'll try to do something special for you. Thank you and good luck.